everybody. How are things? There we go. I posted the music. I found this album today I hadn't heard before, and I'm surprised I haven't heard it before because it's really good. It's by somebody called the Night Worker, who has a criminal amount of they're undersubbed a criminal amount. Because this album has like 100K views, but the actual channel only has 3.67K subs. I mean, I hit sub as soon as I started listening to this, so I was like, yup, I'm down. It's a mood, you know? It is the most definitely a mood. Long ago. The album I think is called the Songs from a Haunted Elevator. Each track's a floor. It's fun. I like to imagine like the elevator in The Shining. It just keeps going up. We're down in for like some impossible long time. Imagine like an elevator being an elevator and it just goes down for like 2 hours straight. Or just even, let's just say the entirety of just this album, like 40 minutes straight, just down without stopping. Just keeps going for 45 minutes. Yeah, it made me think of The Shining. Yeah, like, what would be scarier if the elevator kept going down for 45 minutes, or if it kept going up for 45 minutes straight? Because both would be like ridiculous, right? But what's scarier? Like you get in like a elevator and it's like inside of a tunnel or something. So all you see out this, let's just say there's side windows on the elevator. All you see is brick. Oh, I see. So danger up, scary down. Yeah, like I was thinking about that. I'm like, what if it was just like you walk into this elevator, like say in some abandoned factory, thinking, oh, what's in the basement or what's up in this next floor, and you go ding, and there's only one button, and no matter if you press down or up, it's gonna move for 45 minutes, and all you can see out the little elevator window is just bricks. Oh yeah, no, I thought of you immediately, Mile, when I found this album, and then I was like, oh yeah. But I don't know if he has a bunch of stuff, but the whole album's like this. That's a Gmod map? Oh, cool. Yeah, the whole album, it's like 45 minutes of original shit, I guess. Because it says it's floor 1 through 13. It's 13 floors of a haunted elevator. I didn't even see if they had like more stuff. I was looking at some of but I didn't like really dig into it. But yeah, it looks like they have a couple of a couple of tracks and albums and stuff they do. I don't know if they're like, yeah, they've only been around for about 2 months. Oh yeah, there is a Shining kind of looking images on it too. Some of the tracks. Hey, I was gonna ask, uh, Mile, have you ever seen The Shining? Do you like it? Hi, Schizoid Angst. This is on Twitch. Hi, Schizoid Angst. It's Dave Dog. My main account got nuked as it was linked to a nuked foreign mobile cell number. Let me at least re-register on your Discord. I get 404 with the link to your Discord server. Is it still up? Yeah, it should still be up unless, oh my god, don't tell me. It's because at one point the boosts, we lost boosts, and sometimes it does this dumb shit. I hate Discord. They really need to stop doing that. They should give like a grace period where if for whatever reason you don't have full boosts, because having full boosts on Discord gives your server like a, what do you call it, like a custom link that you can decide on. But for some ungodly reason, if yeah, and some ungodly reason, if don't have those boosts that month or whatever, they will where is it? Oh, where is it? Custom invite, like they'll fucking stream enable. Just can you stop? There. Why can't I do that? Just cause so dumb. Hold on. This thing's dumb. There you go. No, it's still good from what I can tell. Let me see. Ah. The link should be discord.gg/zoidvoid. Yeah, I thought maybe you went away or something. Where are you seeing the 404? On my YouTube? Or on the Twitch? Oh no, for sure. I feel like you would love it. Like, yeah, I know. Like The Shining's like probably like one of your top films, just because it has like that vibe, that old person, scary, haunted vibe. Yeah, it should be working. Thanks, Horthus. Thanks for checking it, man. Good man. All right. So, what are we going to talk about today, folks? What do you guys feel like talking about? Because honestly, it's Thursday. So on Thursday, Torpid Thursdays. If you don't know what the word torpid means, look it up. It's a cool word. You will want it if you're a what's the word? A melancholy sort of individual. The word torpid will be cool to add to your lexicon. But on Torpid Thursdays, I basically just hang out with you guys. Chat can ask me questions or make suggestions or tell me about something, and I'll just ramble. I don't care. Or people can jump on the VC, which I have specifically for the streams, and they can talk about whatever they want, and I'll engage with it to my leisure. And that's Thursdays though. So on Saturdays, I just posted the question a little late. Apologies. But on Saturdays, I post a question for the schizoids on the server, Zoid Void, and then they could submit answers to Dear Angst, and then that ends up in my inbox, and no one, not my devs, not my mods, can see the answers. You post it in, you hit enter, it should delete it, and it'll go in my inbox. And then on Saturday, I will read the answers, talk about the question, but I will not say the usernames or anything like that. So it's a cool way for you to engage or ask questions of me without putting yourself on blast or typing in chat or whatever, because I know a lot of schizoids have certain proclivities and aversions, so say. So there's that. And then on Tuesdays, I usually have a specific topic in mind that's been rattling around in my empty head, and then I just kind of tackle it, and then we kind of see where the stream of consciousness goes with that conversation. So it could start with the topic I had in mind, and after about an hour, just wherever any of the old neurodivergent peeps that oftentimes jump on want to take it. So, yep. that's how that works. That's on Tuesdays. But like I said, Thursday is just chill. Let me see here. It's not my top favs. Oh, okay. It's alright. It doesn't have to be, but I think it's quite legendary. Torp those melons. What? What does that mean? Am I dumb? Am I stupid? Is he stupid? Am I stupid? So, that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over so that anybody wants to jump on can. And I thought I flipped it. Did I not flip my camera? That's so weird. Why is my camera flipped? When did that happen? Has it been that way? Am I stupid? Did I get my... Oh. What was that? That didn't do anything. I just moved it to the right. Okay. That's dumb. Okay. Apparently I can't flip this. It's just not letting me. I try it and it says no. I click on transform and I try to hit flip. Wait, did it do it that time? What the hell is going on with this thing? No, it's not. Hold on. Maybe it is, but I'm just like, there's something weird going on. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it was being weird. I guess it has been flipping. It was like a weird lag on the software or something. I don't know. In any case, oh no, don't leave. Oh wait, there we go. I thought somebody just hopped off. Let me
Was in the channel. He just disappeared.
What happened?
Shadow disappeared.
Oh, okay. I'm sure they'll be back. They're always back. What's up, Horthus?
Oh, not much. Enjoying middle of the universe Thursday.
Middle of the universe Thursday? What's that?
Like a Thursday where it's like rainy and there's nothing happening anywhere in the universe. Is how it feels.
Are you high?
No.
Okay.
That's actually no.
Okay, because that was pretty that was pretty waxing philosophical for you.
I feel like I'm always waxing philosophical.
I feel like you're always waxing intellectual. I don't know about philosophical. Like it was like you're talking in like this kind of a little abstract way. So what do you mean? Like, how is there nothing happening in the universe?
So today, whenever I woke up, I went outside and it was raining, and there's nothing happening. And I also
well, it's raining. That's something.
At like 5 p.m. And also it seemed like there was literally nothing happening.
Like outside or. Anything?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it felt like absolutely nothing happened today. Now I understand that's just my perspective.
Of course.
But it felt like nothing got done anywhere in the world. Nothing got done at work. Nothing got done like anywhere.
Did you feel like you were like in a Did you feel like you were in a like you logged into a server and it was just empty?
Yeah. Yes. That is actually part of the emotion I am trying to convey. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like getting on those what is it called? Those what do they call it? The Gmod stuff and all that, and it's just an empty. It's an empty.
It just felt like the entire world said, nah.
Nah, not today, sir. We're staying home today.
Yeah, that's how it felt. It was just dreary, wet, like, you might take your pet out, let them out, but like, no, not worth doing anything.
Just a big old stink. You don't know whether to use YouTube or Twitch, Melee? Just use whatever you want. I don't know. It's funny. Why is that even like a dilemma? Anyway.
Why is the E upside down on your stream?
Why is the what?
Meat Suit's comment.
What's upside down?
I don't know. I'm looking for something upside down. Maybe it's on YouTube. I'm not on YouTube.
Wait, who said that? Twitch? What is the... Wait, why is the thing upside down on your stream? Oh, it is upside down!
Oh, yeah, just... Oh, that's weird.
Alright. Let me... I probably accidentally did that when I was trying to flip stuff. That's pretty funny. Maybe I should leave it that way. Let me see here. Oop. There we go. I did it. Fixed it. Do you think looking for truth on Twitch? I don't know how. I'm dumb. I have to like figure out a way to put both chats on my OBS so they show up for everyone, so that like people on YouTube can see the Twitch chat and vice versa, so that it doesn't look like I'm reading imaginary chats.
I am curious to see your response to this comment in Twitch chat from
all right,
Looking
let's
Truth.
see. Looking for truth. Do you think the autistic schizoids also have the abstract type way of thinking in a way, or is autistic thinking the opposite, are both opposites on the spectrum at higher risk for schizoid defenses? That's exactly correct to the second part. I think there are people out there, though incredibly rare. One of the few people, I met one person a long time ago. The other person I know that would fall under that category of having that sweet little tinge of both is Shadow, who's trying to get on just now. But what's interesting is it's usually one or the other. Almost every schizoid I've talked to, they either kind of more on the autistic side or more on the schizo side of things. But either way, it's the very differences that they have that make them more susceptible to developing these particular adaptations, because if most of your childhood you feel disconnected from your environment, well, it's kind of hard to develop a reward system or a sense of self that's very cohesive. So it causes some problems, leads to some internal struggles and trauma. So yes, I think that is why there are so many schizoids that are diagnosed or just understand that about themselves, and every single one I've met is one or the other. Roland Ratas. I'm just a masked schizoid, but if you are my home, neighbor, or family, you will see the Zoid behavior and just think that I'm a loner. Yeah, that's how it always is. Yeah, they thought I wasn't seen as the loner growing up. I was seen as like the scary weirdo, if anything. Oh,
yeah, but you wanted to be a scary weirdo.
No, I was a scary weirdo.
You wanted to come across as like weird, but like in like a wholesome way.
No,
and it never worked.
Why are you always trying to like psychoanalyze me, Shadow? Shut the fuck up.
You've literally you've told me this.
No, that it depends on the portion of my life I'm talking about.
Like, you've literally told me
yes,
this.
But that's like...
So I'm not psychoanalyzing you.
No, it depends on the time period in my life that is applicable. I'm talking about when I was like in high school, in school. But, so back then, that didn't apply. So, okay. Context is important.
You're telling me you're not the same person you were the entire length of your life?
No, we're not all you, Sean. I'm kidding. You're not.
That was sarcasm. I know I'm not.
I mean, whenever you say that statement, I often have to reflect: am I different or not? I'm either incredibly different or incredibly the same.
No,
yes and no. You're the exact same person, but you're also a lot of other things.
All the time, every day. There was another portion of the question I didn't answer, which was...
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
How many other schizoids have you met that are autistic can do the type of
anyone can do that.
I can do?
But the thing is, anyone can do it. It's about if it's intuitive.
How intuitive is it to them? That's the question.
I don't know. For you, it seems pretty easy. Like, it seems like... What's weird about when I talk to you, Shadow, is that, like, you're always thinking about abstract shit, but you think about them in very autistic ways.
It's like I'm delivered abstract information from a deity, and I have to parse it out via autistic intuition.
It's just funny because you can start like going off into the weeds when it comes to like weird meta theoretical nonsense, and then but you'll just have very kind of you'll systematize it. It's really.
I mean, that's what confused me when you categorize schizo cognition and autistic cognition, because I was like, well, I can do both, so that just seems normal.
Well, I think doing it is normal. Like for example, anybody can just sit there and like think abstractly. The human brain is designed to be able to do that, but not everybody, wakes up in the morning just thinking like that all the time, and then I have to make an effort to think more concretely. Usually, like it just depends. But yeah, like as far as in my life, like I'm so bad at things in my life. It's so crazy. Like
I'll play a video game, right? And then like I'll see like certain imagery. I'm just like, I don't even need words. I can just understand.
Yeah.
Just like deep.
You're kind of an oddball.
Meta level pattern recognition.
You're kind of an oddball. You're an interesting guy. Maybe you're just an autist whose special interest is being insane.
I'm an autist.
Honestly, I get confused sometimes whenever you talk about, say, these two things of the spectrum. I sometimes find it hard to see what the spectrum is actually made of. Yeah. I don't dwell on it too much because it's not that it's not core to what I'm understanding of the conversation. Yeah. But it is interesting. Sometimes it's like hard for me to figure out whether concrete means pragmatic, real.
No, it means like things that are there in front of you, not just physically, but that have like a sort of more objective space in your mind.
If you want to think objectively, imagine
go ahead.
Imagine like a company person is like giving a speech. They're advertising their company, right? And they're telling you all the great things about their company. And they're using these empty buzzwords that every company uses all the time. And they're just like, they seem good. But if you're autistic, then you're just like, I'm either A, confused, or B, frustrated that they're not telling me anything. Mm-hmm. And they don't realize that no one else notices that they're not telling you anything.
Is that autistic? Because I'm not very familiar in a lot of.
Well, it's not necessarily autistic, but I'm saying that's what concrete thinking is.
Yeah, that's what concrete thinking is. But then, if that's your default mode, like all the time, about 90% of the things you interact with.
So is concrete thinking in this case? This is where I'm betting I'm 100% wrong because I'm associating it with terminology that I'm more familiar with. Is it just saying like you perceive the world deductively as if it is truthful and complete, whereas reality is experienced and experience is subjective, and therefore you would use induction to actually try to process it properly.
It's very intellectualized, I guess, but in a very objective way. Say I'm going to paint you a picture. Imagine there is a tower in the distance that stretches above the clouds, and there's an ocean all around it, and it's nighttime, and there's stormy skies and what have you. If you're thinking about it concretely, you are thinking about it exactly as I just told you. That is how you are perceiving the picture. You see a tower, you see probably whatever color you imagine the tower to be. It's there is water here.
Yeah.
There is a tower there. There are clouds that are a sky.
Yeah.
And it's a storm cloud.
I'm there.
And if you want to go even more autistic, you might imagine, there's water here. I feel more wet. Right, I imagine wet when I think of water.
Starts
when I think of storm clouds, I think of brisk winds. right? And you think
Well,
of like sensory perceptions.
Are you experiencing those perceptions? Because I am
It, it,
not.
it depends on the person.
Some people have
But
like
I
sensory
definitely, I can
hallucinations.
definitely like, yeah, I don't really have a lot of that.
No,
I
Well,
definitely,
like that's what you initially go to, right? If you are more schizo, then I
yeah.
would say you go to like divination cards, right? You'll think
Yeah.
of, oh, the
I'll
tower
start
by the
thinking about
ocean.
like I'll start thinking here. Let me mention this one. I'll start
Yeah,
like
there you go. You
when
do
you
it.
were describing all that stuff, like my brain just starts automatically thinking, what happens in that building? Why is it so tall? What function does it serve? What are the people like that exist around it? What's the culture that would make that thing be created? I just start like
as a forever DM, actually, every one of those questions were things my brain was running through, but it was more like filling in the blanks of like, ooh, what purpose could this tower serve? Like filling
Does
out
your
these plot
brain
details.
does your brain do that automatically, and like
Oh
you
yeah,
almost have
oh
to
yeah.
wrangle it then?
No,
Because that would
I don't typically try to wrangle it. I let my brain go on those tangents, and I let my conscious focus on the current conversation.
yeah, because I have to like
I
consciously
let
think about that
the
kind of
brain
stuff.
spread out, and like it's doing a bunch of those things, and it's like, oh, maybe the tower exists because it plunges all the way into the depths of the planet, and then all the way out to like the atmosphere, and it
That's
forms
funny.
like it almost forms like the entire planet is like there's this tower that goes all the way through it, complete like I filled in a bunch of gaps with the story ideas that I thought would be narratively fun. But I didn't dwell on any of that. I do love, and like the very second you said that the tower went all the way out above the clouds, I'm like, damn, that's a fucking tall tower.
No, yeah, but you know what's interesting is that like when he was describing it, I was listening, and then I was starting to have these thoughts about aspects of it, and I think about halfway through the description, I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said halfway through the description.
I know that the ocean was added
I
later.
got caught.
My
I got
first
caught up.
image of the tower didn't have the water, but then the water was added. And my first image of the tower wasn't above the clouds. That's really fucking high usually, unless we're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere foggy or something. But
The picture I painted to you was just very stereotypical Tower of Babel theme.
I also at one point mentally pondered like, would I want to live there? And I feel like yeah.
At the bottom or the top?
I think that I
You want to live at the bottom because he is a bottom.
Am I a bottom?
I don't think Horthus is a bottom.
I'm gonna say you're a bottom because I think it's funny.
All right, whatever. Anyway,
Alright,
You're a
okay.
power bottom. No, power bottom.
Well, okay, now that we mentioned Horthus, I do eventually, like, whenever I think of Horthus, I also think of, like, the Minotaur, which makes me think of the maze,
yeah.
which makes me think
Midas? Not
the
Midas.
tower.
Fucking. Never mind. Go ahead.
But it makes me think of oh, maybe Horthus lives in the tower. The tower is a maze. It is like a dungeon, and some people think the goal is to reach the top of the tower, and some people think the goal is to reach the bottom of the tower, and that is not known yet. No one knows what the right answer is. This is just me like DMing coming out so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, how could we make this setting go in different directions? How could we play with the players stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, so like if I were to think about that, it would be exactly as I said earlier. It would be I would notice like very obvious facts. Like I would say, oh, there is a tower. Oh, there are storm clouds. There is water here. Not why is the tower here? Where am I? What's going on? What is like the core thematic pattern that I've seen before in other stories. But
I like the Angst first question about like what the material of the tower was, because that is really important. I went with like generic gray stone at first. The second he asked that, I'm like, well, I mean, wouldn't it be cooler if it was something else?
Like, no, but like if you want to get like if you want to keep hyper concretizing, you would start focusing on like what would a tower of that size require material wise, and how would those materials be made? What equipment is available?
Assuming there's no magic or something, like, is it a carbon fiber like network to make such a
And
tall
then just becoming
structure?
like focused on that specifically,
And the second you
and
say
not
that,
moving
now
on.
I'm like, it's a space. It's actually, what is the name of that thing that they want to build into space that's made out of carbon fiber? That's just like a really tall structure. So instead of using rockets to get things into space, you could slowly lift them. Whatever
We would differentiate it exactly by this, looking for truth, by how intuitive, like, the kind of abstract thinking happens.
Yeah.
If someone's open to experience, they're usually going to be listening to someone who's abstract schizo.
Schizo-spectrum
about
peeps
this.
aren't like, I don't consciously make these decisions most of the time. Like, I just don't, like, I can like get in there even deeper for sure, easy, and I can pull myself out of it as is necessary, because but like my comfortable cozy, not always, yeah, my comfortable cozy intuitive space is not, it's in those places. Like, here's like a example of the way I read books. It took me a long time to come to terms with how I get the most out of books, and it's something I've kind of been discovering more in the last like 4 years. And so when I was going to school and when I would just read books that I was interested in, I used to force myself to try to like in my head I would go, okay, I'm gonna read this book and I'm gonna like remember the names and the events and like all this stuff. I'm gonna remember all this stuff about it because it's so cool, and I want to be somebody that knows the stuff about the thing, right? And so then I would like read the book trying to like, you know, really try to take in all the, you know, the concrete information in there. About, you know, if you're talking, because I'm a history guy, so like if you're talking history, I would be like, okay, what events, what were the chain of events, and then what people were involved in those chain of events, and what year did it happen, and how did it occur, and in what way, and in what chronological order, and so on. Like, I tried to do that stuff and I just couldn't. Like, it was just hell, right? Like, I would try and I would have to have like notes, and I would have to like actively memorize shit, even though I was interested in it, right? It wasn't like I was trying to force myself to remember things I didn't give a shit about or wasn't interested. It was interesting. It's just my brain just. But then I started taking historical theory, and then I started gutting books, you know, more, because I'd have to read like go through like, you know, 20 fucking books for like one paper over the course of time. I couldn't just sit there and read all of them, and because I couldn't stick to it, I'd fall asleep if I tried to read every fucking word in the book. I'd fall asleep. That thing would happen that I've talked about before. And so what I discovered is I skim through the book page by page. I ignore most of the names except the ones that stand out. I ignore the dates that it mentions. I ignore, and I don't have to actively ignore it. I just see it and I skip it because I just don't care. Something in my brain just doesn't care. And so then I go through it, and it's the same thing if I'm listening to an audiobook. I'll listen to an audiobook for like 6 hours, and I'll only remember specific things and themes and how they tie into each other, and concepts and ideas, and so on and so forth. Like I can't. Like it's and so like yeah, even the, like I was reading, even if I read fiction, I'm like that. Like I don't give a shit about every single character's name. I usually forget characters all the time. I have to rewatch things, but I'll remember the themes, the ideas, the various aspects of the events and what they represent and what they mean to the story itself and how the narrative builds and constructs itself, blah blah blah. Like that shit'll just fucking, that's all just like. So it's really
the first book I read of my own volition was in 4th grade, and it was Aragon. And that was specifically because I
I have
didn't want
those
to read
books,
books. Yeah, I love those books. I haven't read them
It's the
since
Aragon,
Fortune. I
Eldest, all
should.
those shits, right? There's a new one
Yeah.
apparently. I think they just released a new
Yeah,
one.
Murtagh.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
But I don't remember like a lot of what happens in those books, especially when it gets kind of like later, because I don't believe I've ever read Inheritance. But I read those in fourth grade, which is fucking. I was 9 then,
Mm-hmm.
so then that's 14 years.
Ah,
But I still vividly remember scenarios that happened only because I remember what I pictured those events and I remember the events that are happening in the head. So I don't like at the very, very beginning of the first book,
mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily recall what the book talked about, but I remember the scenery in which I envisioned it in, and then I can piece it together from there.
It's very interesting.
So
Like
from
there's one specific part where there's the forest with the elves. I remember what the I imagined the forest to look like, and I can go back immediately right now. And I remember the caves and then there was like a battle with
Almost like it's a memory, like a memory
yeah,
of something you
literally
did or you
literally like it's a
experienced.
memory.
Yeah,
Like I still remember how I
that's
envisioned the
interesting.
inside of the caves and the mines, and I remember the
I
battle
can't do that.
Aragon had with what was equivalent to the fucking things from the wraiths from Lord of the Rings, whatever those shits
Ring
are in
wraiths. Yeah.
Aragon. Yeah, but whatever it
Oh
was
yeah,
in Aragon,
Aragon.
right?
Yeah.
Like I remember that battle, I remember him being congratulated, and I can replay it in my head, right? But I don't remember how the book explained it, but I remember how I envisioned it. Even now, after
I
14 years.
agree. I think my experience is pretty similar to your Shadow. I thought from Angst's description, something that stuck out to me was that some of the stuff he said that you discard or can't pay attention to, like let's say dates. I feel like on most readings of fantasy fiction books, a lot of the things you describe just sound like things that are just they don't make any sense until you're rereading it. You don't have context for why year 3024 is a meaningful point.
I don't
You,
reread things though.
I'd say that's most people. Most people
Yeah,
don't. But
and like
it
here's the
is
problem.
fun sometimes.
The
When
problem with
you
this that might make it difficult to understand is that there are plenty more autistic folk that would remember specific, dates, numbers, and like
I
things and
know a
like
few.
actual objective facts that I don't, right? Even though I consider myself on the spectrum. So there's a lot of abstraction that gets taken the place of those facts. So you might be like when we get to talking about objective, no, not objective, the
So bear
concrete
with me
thinking
here
and
for just one
abstract
second
thinking.
because, and please call me out. It's one of those things where I've always struggled to understand exactly where that line is that we draw this idea of autism for things. Because I've never really been able to keep up with like where that line is drawn. Because the line that the most clear line to me, from my perspective, and maybe I have autism, maybe I don't. I have no idea. I'm not concerned. Uh, it is whenever I see an unawareness that I would consider to be autistic, as opposed to like a special awareness that I would consider to be autistic. Like if somebody has blinders on and is unaware or unable to observe certain things, those were the things that like I thought were associated more with that term. Whereas like as a Zoid, you might act in a way that is not at all normal, but you would be aware of all the social bullshit going on. You would just maybe not agree with it or not care. Or
Well, it's like it depends on your reason for not caring, right? Like if you don't care because it just doesn't make any intuitive sense to you, then there's something different going on because that's just what like regardless of your personality, most humans on earth are going to be motivated to some degree or another by a lot of these kind of social conventions, interpersonal relationships of conventional sort of kind, like even if they take different sort of shapes or whatever, right? um like and so it just kind of it's sort of that feeling of like I don't understand why people think these particular things that most people seem to think is intuitive and important to me seems
Yeah,
unintuitive and
for
unimportant.
me, it always seemed like it was a, oh, I can't perceive things. It was sort of where I put the autism branch, and I've never, I don't know, I don't understand that. Like, I feel like I've always understood exactly
Like
why the
intellectually
normal human
understanding stuff, it doesn't
are.
mean you find it intuitive. Like it's it
Yeah, I find it. Well, no, I bet I would say I find most of it intuitive. I just find it stupid. Like, oh yeah, that
no,
would be the
you would
solution
find
we're
it
get
if you found it
to.
intuitive, you'd be motivated by it. It would be
Well,
a
no, I
natural
find it
state for
intuitive
you.
in that it's like that's like if you didn't think about it that extra step further, it would be like it would end there. It
No,
would end
because
at the.
but most people, even if you explain to them that extra step, they don't care. It
Oh
just
yeah,
it
I
doesn't
agree. I
matter.
agree. Yeah,
It's
that.
that's because and so what I'm arguing is that you're not taking an extra step. You're just thinking like you do. And the things you're associating to being dumb are just things that aren't intuitive to you to want to be motivated by or pursue because they just don't make sense to you. You're not going to
Well,
expend your energy that way.
what you should do. Well, you look at it and you ask, why would the body want that? Why would historically humans be evolved to do these things? Why
Yeah,
would, well, like you would ask those questions. Like,
yeah, of
so for me,
course.
I'm abstracting further and I'm making like a much more complicated view of like, oh, why did society condition
Because
these
that's
traits
what you
in
care
people?
about, is what I'm saying. That's where you're, even if, like, in my opinion, this is just me, those are the things you care about. And that is where you're, maybe it's hard because when you're all zoidy, it's hard to fucking hook up to those things. But that's where your emotions would be. That's what you're emotionally connected to, is those things. Not the things that everyone is emotionally connected to around you that make no sense.
Or emotionally reactive.
Like the
Here's a
stuff,
question,
yeah.
Porthos. If someone interrupts you when you're in the middle of doing something, whether that be trying to finish a thought, finish a task, finish anything, in your head, in my head, whatever I'm actively doing is like a bullet point task. I am doing an action. If I'm interrupted by that action, even if I can intellectually understand why I'm interrupted, or I'm interrupted, but the thing that's interrupting it is takes precedent and I should do that first, by all means, I still get like frustrated and I still get annoyed and sometimes I even get angry because I like finishing tasks one at a time and then moving on. I don't like having something unfinished, even if it's something completely benign as, like, say I am fiddling with an object and it's not returned back to its default state.
Hmm.
But
Well,
it's like it's
I would
just a
say I
fiddle
relate a lot to
object.
that. Like, for me, it's definitely tactical. It's definitely like something I'm actively thinking about, though. Like, I'm thinking, oh, I am being interrupted. I will shift my mental resources here or here. It's sort of like a decision making process that then kicks off. Like, let's say I'm being distracted by a threat. Oh, I have to like get away from the threat. Like, so I compartmentalize in that situation. I would say, is that the same as what you're saying or different?
Funny story. If you're threatened by something and you're still not frustrated that the thing that's threatening you interrupted you, that's not the same thing. Funny story. There was a tornado warning the other week where
Oh
there were
yeah,
tornado
I
sirens
heard you
outside my
tell me that.
house.
Yeah.
I woke up and I was more pissed off that the sirens woke me up than there was the fact that there could have been a tornado lane.
I kind of vibe with that too because like there's California occasionally has earthquakes, right? And even when they're like strong ones or whatever, I will be so either in my head or just working on whatever I'm working or thinking or watching whatever I'm watching that my wife will come out and she's like, "Did you feel that?" And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "There was an earthquake." And I'm like, "Oh." That's cool.
It
And then,
looks
But,
like
like-
Waiting for Truth on Twitch redeemed a couple chat points to highlight their messages.
okay, I'll check it out right now. And then the other thing too is I've had times where I do feel the earthquake, right? Because I wasn't like doing anything in particular. I was walking or something, and like my thought, like when I'm sitting there, like, or even if I'm just sitting there and I feel the earthquake, and I'm like kind of really into whatever it is I'm thinking about, my first thought isn't like, oh shit, an earthquake. One of my first thoughts is, oh, everyone's gonna start freaking out now. And then I'm like, and everyone's gonna interrupt whatever it is that I'm doing because people get scared, and so I have to go be there because people get scared. But I'm not scared. I'm just like, I just wish I could get back to whatever I was doing because it's more important to
Are
me
you
than
really calm during emergency situations?
I'm not only it depends on the type of emergency situation, but most of the time I would say 90% of the time it's different because when it's your kids it's weird. Something changes. But anyway,
Okay, yeah, that can make
yeah,
sense.
some kind of mammalian shit, like wizard brain shit probably. Um but point is if it's just me that's in danger or something, or it could potentially be in danger, I like it's not even a choice. Like my brain becomes calmer than if nothing was happening. It's
I
like I
relate
become
to that. I
calmer.
relate to it a lot.
Like
Whenever
a
shit
freak.
hits the fan, I
Yeah.
always it's almost like a higher part of me takes over for a second and
Yeah,
manages
super
shit.
agent.
Well, unfortunately, like the only problem with it is that it's good for a lot of situations, but depending on the situation, sometimes it's perceived by people that don't react that way as being bad. Like my wife, when something happens, especially like something like like even certain things, it depends with me. It depends on how bad it is, like that I'll react. Like there's been times where my daughter, like she fell down and she knocked the air out of her stomach, right? My 4-year-old. And she knocked the air out of her stomach, I'm guessing. She was like crying, but she was like doing like a kind of gaspy cry, right?
Yeah.
And then my wife's like freaking out. She's like, she's not breathing. She can't breathe, right? And I'm like, okay, hold on. And so then like I just kind of rubbed her back a little bit, and then my wife is asking her like are you okay? Can you breathe? And my daughter was saying, she's like, no, no, I can't. Right? And then like I immediately calmed down because I'm like, well, she wouldn't be able to talk if she wasn't breathing.
I'm not gonna ask the
And
child
then
that cannot breathe if they're okay.
no, but it's just an automatic thing. Yeah, I wouldn't ask
Yeah.
that either, but my wife's just freaking out. And so then she's like, my wife's still in like she can't breathe mode, but I'm just like, she's fine now. And then my wife's like, no, no, she's not fine. And I'm like, yeah, she's talking, so that means she's breathing. But let's just, and she's like, she'll get like pissed at me because I'm not as freaked out, and then she'll like be fine after, but during that moment she gets like more anxious and like frustrated that I'm not reacting to some level similarly to her, like kind of in this urgency sort of mode, um because I like my brain is still just like looking at the parts and just going, okay, okay, this is fine, this is good, that thing's good, we're good, everything's fine. Like, so I don't know. It's a weird one, but yeah, it
I
can
don't
be
know.
perceived
I
as a
found
bad
that
thing,
very
sadly. Hmm?
and I feel like that's pretty relatable. And then I do understand how people could perceive it negatively.
Yeah, they think you don't care, or they think that like you're indifferent or some shit like that. What the hell is that? Some crazy
Lawnmower.
sounds. Yeah, again. Hey, Gunny. Haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, Gunny's got the wood chipper running. She
Hell
found
yeah.
somebody she doesn't like and is getting rid of him.
Yeah, I decided to put it on stream. That's cool. Pretty awesome. Hey, were you supposed to have your camera on, Shadow? Because it's just 3 dots this whole time. It's not showing
It's on
anything.
for me. I think it's because you're in streamer mode.
No, I turned it off. And streamer mode doesn't affect that.
Orthus.
What?
Can you see,
Why
do I
can
need
you
to
see
work?
Shadow? Can you see Shadow or not?
You're the
I
resident that's talking.
I'm looking.
Oh, we got
I
art going. I didn't
I
even
can click
notice.
watch stream on Meat Suit. On Shadow, it's just like a refresh icon.
Yeah, told you.
Working
Well,
fine for me.
it was.
There we go.
It
Now,
worked
if
for
I
me
now,
now.
click on Shadow,
now
he
you're in.
appears.
Now you're in. Yeah, we got melee art. Hell yeah.
Why
Well,
is your
Melee is
camera?
art, and I'm not doing my camera. Fuck that.
Oh, okay. Well, who said something? Absentia? Was that you?
Yes, I was asking why is his camera on anyway? Just out of curiosity.
Oh,
I'm
because he
nominated myself as the
a
resident
demi
co-host.
co-host of my with my streams.
So it was more so be like, hey, if he has his camera on, I'll have my camera on.
Yeah,
But Melee is art, so
yeah. I always
I
have
think
my
it works
camera.
pretty well whenever they're doing real duo type conversations. It's good to see both people sort of
Flapping
live
their
action.
meat lips.
Yeah, yeah.
don't say it like that. Why would you say it like that?
Is that like more gross? I feel like that's not that gross.
Ugh.
No,
Whenever
yeah.
we're
Shadow
literally
doesn't
talking
like when I describe
I don't
body
like meat and
parts,
flesh.
meat and fleshy and meat
Sensory.
stuff.
Is it weird how wet most body parts are? Is that like a thing?
Horthus, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
In
leave him alone,
Minecraft.
Arthas. Leave him alone. All right. So let's see here. There's that question that was highlighted that I almost missed.
All right, so I don't think Horthus is
Interesting.
as autistic as he might question himself to be.
I really don't think I'm autistic. That never really like felt like my vibe. But there's so much overlap in this schizo autism thing.
Yeah, there is a lot of overlap.
that I have
That's
to
why it needs to be
always, I
studied
have to always
better.
explore all these ideas to try to understand where there's similarities or differences.
Yeah, I'll just
Like
tell
another
you.
aspect of the tornado siren would have been, I would guess, if Angst were to wake up to a tornado siren, he would be like, okay, family stuff, this, that. But if he didn't have family stuff to worry about, if that was okay, then he'd be like, why the fuck is...
I would
are
look out
these
the window and I'd be like, "Oh, I don't see a tornado. Whatever," and I would just like go back to my game.
Yeah, I know, but like if
Or
you
my
were really
book.
pissed off, you would be like, "Oh, the fucking sirens are fucking
Oh yeah,
like these
or if
things
it's
are actually making my life worse." And
Yeah,
like
or
you
if they,
start
like,
to
came
abstract
in-
into like,
live in the Midwest, so for me,
yeah.
tornado doesn't even sound like a wild idea. It's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
seen them.
But then like he would take it
Mhm.
from the sirens are like impeding on his life, and it's just like, oh, it's just like all these other things that man has made that impedes on my
it's
life.
like impeding bullshit. Like, do I really like? Okay, fine. The siren. We heard it. We heard the siren. Well, there's a tornado. Now what? Like, should we
But
leave our
I would get
homes?
pissed off at the
Are we just gonna
sirens,
sit in our
not
houses
because
anyway?
I wouldn't get pissed off that they're impeding my life and then to abstract into other shit that has impeded my life and kind of take a inch or go a mile if I take an inch with it. I would get mad because of the noise they're making. Like I focus on the actual like how I'm hearing it and how it's ringing in my ear.
Okay,
That is what I get pissed off
But
about,
the-
not
the-
about them impeding my
okay,
life.
but this is what's funny. The sound itself. Like I don't know if it's the same sound, or it's just the one that they always mean. But the siren sound, that sound.
Yeah, it's
like
the same one.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that whenever I hear that sound, I like it. I like that sound. Like, I like that sound even if it's loud. I like it just because it's like, I don't know, it just feels like, oh, everything shit's hitting the fan. Here we go. Wee! Like, I don't know why that
Yeah.
goes through my head. Like, I'm
I
just
enjoy that as well.
yeah.
A lot of intuitive stuff I go to immediately, and like not even consciously, just how I literally function, and even against my will at times. It's very physical sensory based. It's all about how something feels. It's how something rings in my ears. It's about how something, like when I personify things or when I interpret things, I interpret them through senses first and foremost.
One thing I like about emergency situations is that, like, a lot of the stuff that I don't care about stops mattering to everyone else too for a while. That part's cool. Like you
Oh
know,
yeah.
because
I
everyone's like freaked out and it's like emergency mode. So then people aren't like worried about niceties or like
Yep.
internal dramas. They're just like, oh shit, we got to get to the shelter. Like,
You know what's a really rare feeling? I can only think of like one instance, but when shit hits the fan and you notice someone else is also completely aware
uh-huh.
and you just solve the problem immediately.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that's
always
a
cool.
really good feeling. I wish life felt like that. I wish solving problems day to day in work felt like that.
Like
But it usually doesn't.
it's so
It
funny.
usually doesn't.
I feel like I feel like if we got like like 100, let's just say we had like 100 horses, and then like in a state, like in a small venue, right? Like say a concert venue. There's 100 horses, and all of a sudden the stage is on fire, right? Like something went wrong and the stage is starting to burn up, right? I can imagine the 100 horses would calmly walk out.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
it would just
Like
be like, why are we all gonna run? It will just end up trampling each other or
right,
increasing the
you'll just hurt
likelihood of
each other.
dying.
Calmly walk
Even if the
away from the.
door was like jammed or something, it would be like, okay, first and foremost, let's figure out how to unjam the door. What's available?
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
None
That
of
is
us want to
exactly
die in a
the energy I want.
fire. That sounds really awful. And then people are like, and like in my head, I would just be thinking, if somebody's like, "Oh my god, I don't want to die in a fire," I'd be thinking, chances are you're probably gonna die from smoke inhalation first. So, I mean,
Getting
it's
And then
trampled.
meanwhile, I'd be really pissed, and like if no one else is doing it, then I would take like upon the authority of just fucking yelling at like the crowd, be like, "It's a fucking file!"
but you don't want to. You just like, why do I have to do this? Stupid. Like,
No, because
I have
I like
thought that
I
in
like
this
putting the squares
situation,
in the
I
square
might be
hole.
the guy that dies because I would specifically not want to be part of the fucking impact rush out. Like,
no,
I feel like I
what
could
would be
fuck for
funny if
others.
you were the guy that like goes toward and around the fire and leaves in the back, that like leaves out the stage back exit.
The way a lot of places are set up.
Yeah, like you just
Uh,
climb on and then you walk past the flaming inferno and then just go to the back room that's not on fire and then just leave out
Yeah,
the back
yeah.
and then
Like
everyone else is screaming and dying
300 people are screaming, trying to exit
trying
out
to
doors.
exit out
And like,
the front
yeah,
door.
they all end up like stomping over each other as feral animals, trying to like.
They're breathing all hard so all the smoke is entering their lungs.
You can see that they're crushing the people in front of them, but they still mindlessly surge forward.
I
Yeah.
know the door's jammed, and so instead of like trying to figure out how to open the door, the people behind it just try like pressuring the door and crushing the people in front of them against the door, and then you have dead people piling in front of the door with the increase of the unlikelihood of being able to figure out why the door is jammed increasing exponentially.
You're really underestimating the tism hearings because to think that I wouldn't even care about that is so far from
It's
how it
funny.
would be. Because like I would see the inefficiency of people moving through the door, and I would just be like, I wouldn't even care that there's a fire now. And now I care about that there is like
Yeah,
the
that would be more
efficiency of
annoying
people
than the
moving single
fire.
file.
That would
Like
I
I
get it.
want it to be efficient.
Yeah.
I want it to be orderly, and I want
I
it
would
to
be
happen, and I
thinking.
want it to be done.
Look, I'll
The
be
more
I
annoying
want
honest.
thing
to
is the
work
people
towards the
being idiots
solving of
about
that
it.
problem.
I would be automatically thinking about like why are people like this? This
Yeah.
like we deserve to die in this fire. Humans deserve to die in fires. Like that's what I
And
would
I
be
mean,
like,
thinking.
those thoughts would definitely be crossing my mind. That's
yeah,
for sure.
I'm
moral
gonna die because
abstractions have no
shitty.
place
Yeah, I'm
in
gonna die because
efficiency.
humans are just incapable of doing anything to
Right,
actually help each
like
other.
one of the things is like I wasn't killed by the shooter. I was killed by everyone else panicking and running over me. That's like just
Yeah,
that's so bad.
yeah. It's so crazy.
Honestly, the more we're talking about it, the more I'd realize I'd have like so much fun if there was a fire and I get to scream at people.
You just want to scream at people, I think.
Like I would be able to express anger and also control
and
efficiency
possibly be helpful.
of I don't care about being helpful. I care about manipulating people from my own perspective of being efficient
Okay.
and also
Get the
expressing
job
anger.
done. Get the mission done.
I care a great
There's a
deal
mission
about
I
being
have
efficient
now.
to aid other people. It's like I want to get out of your way. I don't.
No, I don't give a fuck about helping other
I
people.
care about other people, sadly. Like in a meta way, like I'm just like, these are human lives. They don't understand what they're doing. They can't help it. This is just a mammalian reaction. No one is like no one's at fault here. Human suffering is tragic. I'm gonna try to do something. I'm the guy that would probably go on the
I really wish
stage.
every action of heroism that existed was prefaced with somebody having to lecture with, God, like all the
You guys
things
are
you just
fucking
said.
idiots. Let's go. I would probably be like, I would probably, if the stage isn't completely on fire, I'd probably jump on the stage. If the microphone's still intact and the band jumped off or went the other way, I would be like, hey, come this way. There's a back door. And then I would say it. I would say it. And if they don't come, that's on them. Like, I tried.
Don't stage exits tend to be even smaller though?
Yeah, but at least we can.
I mean, they do.
At least it's open. At least it's
crush thing.
open. And if they don't fucking run like psychos, maybe I should like. You know what? The smart thing is, it would be I would say that, and then I would immediately run to the door before they catch up to me because I don't want them. I don't want to get caught up in their bullshit.
How many people do you think can clear, let's say, like a 5-foot wide entrance per second? I'd say like what,
significant
like 2, 3,
amount of
like
people.
that?
You can get 100 people, 200 people.
Yeah, but the problem is that they get all crushed and like compacted onto each other by the people behind them. So it's like it's like
all it takes is one person to trip. While all it takes is one fat dude to trip, and then there go down like 3 more fucking people. And you know,
and they could have all calmly walked and escaped safely.
And they probably none of them would be in all that much danger. It would just be like, okay, at worst, the person in the back can maybe feel the heat from the fire for a little bit, inching toward them, but they can all actively get out, and they don't have to be walking slowly. They can kind of be. They can literally jog in a reasonable pace in a straight line. Like they wouldn't even have to run. Like it would just be like hut 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 hut, just out the like lemmings right out the goddamn opening.
Well, I mean, you also think about this. Like that's entirely like what basic like conditioning for like military people are is like
emergency situation.
Loud noises. Lots of distractions, and then still having to do your job.
Yeah, you still stay, do the thing.
I might actually be rejected if there was ever a draft for the military, realizing it, because like I don't ever like I'm really tired right now. I've been working overtime this week, and I don't know, that's just taken shit out of me. I didn't have any caffeine today either. I think that's what really did it. But I don't ever realize just how autistic I am until I get really tired. Because it's like I never have the facts right in front of me that I feel. But not like talking about this while I'm really tired, it's just like it's so fucking obvious.
We never got to the goddamn question that was highlighted. I need to read it. Interesting. In order to that was like 30 minutes ago or something.
Angst.
Interesting.
I was talking about something else, and you still went after something else entirely too.
Like just seeing an object, there's a continuous alteration between bottom-up thinking and top-down thinking. Could schizoid be overreacted top-down under active bottom-up thinking? And no. See, okay. This is where it always gets confused. When I say schizoid, I'm not saying schizo. So schizo-spectrum is something else I talk about, and then autism and schizoids are just a personality quote unquote disorder or adaptations based on the trauma of being neurodivergent, significantly
No,
neurodivergent.
no. Angst, you've seen TikTok. Schizoid
Stop! No, don't
means you're
interrupt the shit I'm
schizophrenic.
saying. I'm gonna lose track of what
Schizoid
I'm
means you're
saying.
schizophrenic? Okay.
Fuck! You know I'm going to lose track. Why do you do this to me?
I don't know. I don't think about
Well,
it.
I will. You've done it to me plenty of times. And so, yes, schizoid is a set of adaptations that neurodivergent people that are significantly neurodivergent in some capacity and have environments, I believe, become they develop these adaptations. So schizoid is not the opposite of autism, is what I'm trying to clarify here. The top-down thinking is what I'm thinking is more the schizo stuff. The bottom-up thinking is the autist thinking. That's a good way to put it. Bottom up, top down, vertical. What J-Reg said, vertical, lateral. So I say abstract.
God, I hate all these terms and like the like what is top? Like I don't know. Like none of these things. I have so much trouble struggling to understand.
Maybe you're just
Still,
a fucking
going back to-
schizo, Hortus.
Hortus, top down is if you're playing Age of Empires. Bottom up is if you're playing Helldivers 2.
I don't know if that helped me or hurt me.
Okay. Top down is you are the person in an RTS game controlling your massive army. Bottom up is if you're a single unit in that army. That's the POV difference.
Oh, then I am top down.
There you go.
You're schizo. Welcome.
Does that make more sense?
I will micro every single one of those units, but yeah, I'm top down.
Yeah, but,
okay,
but why? But why are you motivated to micro them in order to increase the quality of your top down?
I micro them because it lets you kill like 50 units with 8 units. That's why
because then your army is more efficient, which in turn makes your empire more efficient, which in turn makes your experience of controlling said empire more enjoyable because you're not really you're looking at numbers, right? You're going like, oh well, okay, we can sacrifice this many citizens a year in order to get.
I would rather play an RTS game that was 100% about like macro decision making with no micro. But I feel like the games that have micro do play better.
It would be cool if they made an RTS where you just make macro decisions because like the playing field's so super macro. And
they tried that a few times. I just don't think it's ever been as
successful. but then have with the new tech have all the micro stuff be handled by like individual AI AI learning machines.
They tried to do that. Oh, no. Well, not with AI.
Yeah, with AI running like
the
managers.
That with like one person would play the Command and Conquer guy role and deploy like buildings and bases, and players would play all the units.
Yeah.
My friend Phil used to play that.
That sounds like it would be an absolute mess, but it sounds cool too. But
it wasn't. I think it wasn't great. It was okay.
But what I'm saying, it'd be cool if you could play like a super macro game that has like not just numbers going on in the background or whatever or RNG, but like actual there's an actual chain of command and like a system of like fully autonomous chatbots making decisions.
That is literally the dream from so many games that I have played before.
Yeah, and then
they never delivered on that.
Well,
they never delivered.
Because they don't have the tech. We're getting there.
No, yeah.
We're getting there.
In reality, that is actually somewhat of how war works. Like to some degree, like you give commands and people follow the orders and you hope they get executed.
And then there's also the crapshoot, the RNG aspect still in there. Of the RNG is the human condition. That's the RNG.
There's infinite amount of possible ways this can get fucked.
All it takes is like 5 people to fuck it up just right.
If you remember the first-person shooter Tribes, it had like a command console, and you could like look at that to see where radar and turrets and stuff were deployed, and you give commands to other people. Yeah. No one ever did that. It was built into the game. No one ever did that.
You know what?
If you ever played Planet Side, it was a game that had the option of everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
But in terms of execution, it was pretty much always like you would show up with your 2,000 buddies and annihilate the 10 guys defending something. It was like people solved the equation in such a way that like those tactical decisions, that cool aspect has never. I've never seen it actually become real.
Even when
I would love it if it would.
But... Even when I play a game like where I'm like one soldier or one unit, like say if I played something like the Helldivers game, right? Like I would just be like automatically as I'm playing it, I'm thinking about like I'm not just thinking about my soldier. I'd be like kind of drifting off thinking about like the emotional sort of like headcanon I would have for like the character I'm playing as in like as he witnesses like these insane like macro events that he can't even like comprehend.
That's still microing it down to one person.
No, but like I want to know about it, but it's about the experience. Like it doesn't even have to be that guy in particular. Like I don't know. Like it's just that idea. I'm more concentrated on the idea of like being a micro thing in a macro process and being kind of semi-aware. Huh?
Can I tell a small real life story that I feel like is similar to this?
Yeah, no, you may not. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Go ahead.
So in high school, I went to a paintball game that was like a giant, 2,000 people playing paintball at once. Yeah. And the way I filled out the form, I got assigned as a leader of a unit. And what that meant, I guess, is that I was supposed to actually lead the unit. But what that meant was we got into contact with the enemies, and I was like, oh, look, let's go over here. And then no one followed me. So I proceeded to get like 2 miles behind enemy lines, and then I was completely alone. No resources or anything. No one followed any of my commands or orders. No one was even paying any attention to anything I was doing. Because the second that fire started happening, everyone else got down, and I moved forward. So the next thing you know is I'm a mile behind enemy lines, and the enemies are looking at me, and they don't even know I'm an enemy because they can't tell. They like you've got different like armbands to signify who you are. And what I do is I get around to like where the command bunker is, and I just like unload my little paintball gun on all of their commanders, and then everyone unloads on me, and I die. They died too. And I thought that was the greatest play I could play. But that didn't give me any points. It's not fair. You didn't play by the rules that were set.
Yeah. Fucking rules. Fucking rule. Change the rules. Obviously, this is a new thing we can add to the game and make it better. Oh man, there's been time. I mean, I've done that with board games where I've just thought about the game and I'm like, there's so many aspects to this game that could just be better if you like had this instead and got rid of this rule and then added these things. And I'm like, why don't we do that? That sounds better. But then like I feel like people would be like, no, that's not how you play the game. We've always played the game this way. I'm like, okay. I guess we have to always play the game this way. It's weird. I don't understand why the game has to always be played that way. I like adding
a very common question for me is like, what do people want out of the game that we're playing right now? Because that varies a lot.
I hate asking that question.
I like it.
That question makes me so frustrated and so bored and just so done with wanting to deal with people.
I don't think I think about what would make the experience necessarily more fun for everyone. I just kind of think about what would make this experience more interesting. What the hell is that noise? What would make this experience more interesting is what goes through my head. Even if it makes the game worse or harder or more frustrating. Like I would just go, I want it to be interesting. So yes, even if everyone ultimately ends up hating the game, if we like had to struggle and then we succeed and then we say we never want to play that game ever again, I call that a success. That's what I think about.
That sounds like a lot of D&D games I've ran.
That's fun.
It is fun. I am able to have fun with that.
Yeah.
I pine for that ideal of running and I've run a couple of them, but running that game where everyone is committed enough to really finish a campaign.
You probably never run. You've probably never run a full game of like of nothing but like you should try to run a game like that and then have the people. They couldn't see. That's the only problem. Like, I would say schizoids are good for that, but the only problem is that the word committed to it makes it sound like an obligation. So then it's like a thing you have to show up to.
I am definitely at the point where that is something I am seeking from other people to play those games with. Is they have to put it on the fucking priority list somewhere. They can't let literally.
It has to be their choice, though. So it would be basically, sure. Yeah. So it would be basically,
let's say you got a wife, a kid, a job, you have 7 other fucking hobbies. Like, I do not want to have you in my game if you don't prioritize it at some level where you decide that this is my level.
These 5 hours are for this.
Yeah, and if if a kid gets sick, that's fine. But running games for people that don't care at least that much, it's not worth my fucking time.
That's easy. That's easy to do. Like I hate that, like, the only thing that would even make it difficult for me to do something like that is scheduling and pragmatism of my situation. Like, if I became wealthy enough to where I didn't have to worry about working 40 hours a week or bullshit like that, I would do something like that. That would be like the first thing I'd want to do. Is I'd be like, yes, now I can just spend 5 hours like every other day playing a campaign. Like, yes. Thank you. Like, it's just funny the stuff I would actively want to do if I was like wealthy. It wouldn't be like I want to go spend my money and go or buy luxury items or go on trips or vacations, right? Like, it would be.
I just want to be rich and buy luxury items. That's it. Just buy them. Don't even use
just to
them.
buy them.
Buy.
It'd be cool to buy them and then just destroy them. Like,
I buy yachts.
Just to sink them. Just make it make it a TikTok account. Just buying boats and exploding them. Or having boat battles. Them
would be one of the most expensive but coolest fucking YouTubes. Like if that was just your thing, like, I just buy yachts and sink them.
That's funny. I'm just trying to think, like, you could turn that into like a charitable contribution or something. Like, there'd be a way to turn it into something.
I bet they could also declare it as like a tax write-off as a loss or something. Like,
or you could, like, and if you grow big enough, you can like crowdfund like the next big thing you're gonna destroy.
Oh God, how fast would that work?
Like, I don't know. Like, if it depends on the thing, right? Like, if you say,
Can we crowdfund buying oligarchs' yachts and like
historic yachts and of oligarchs,
using them and sinking them
and just lighting them on fire, like, and then or even better, it would be really cool if with your own money, right, instead of buying a yacht.
Oh yeah, all this is above board. All this is legal.
No, yeah, but I'm thinking, like, it would be. This is the coolest idea. You have your own, like, whatever. If you have the money, you have your own pirate ship with cannons, like usable cannons on that you can fire at yachts.
Honestly, Mr. Beast being a pirate sounds like an amazing future.
Imagine him just lighting shit and just firing cannons in a state or a location.
Imagine the
it's legal
intro
to own
for
a
the
cannon.
video where he's like hitting it. What we're gonna do today, guys? Look, we're in Somalia. We're gonna.
We're in Somalia. We're gonna be pirates today. Yar! Oh, just have like.
Oh, look at that civilian vessel over there.
Oh, well, now you're going to jail.
Pirate doesn't go to
Look,
jail,
there's
so
some
don't
Somali
get caught.
pirates.
Remember, kids, it's
International
not illegal
waters,
if you don't get
laws.
caught.
Can you imagine like modern day Somali like pirates like going up against like European pirates with like cannons and swords?
Yeah.
It sounds funny.
Actually, that is an interesting statement. I
Just-
guess.
Yar!
I guess it used to
Like,
be
would
the
they be
case that most of
confused?
those ships were more armed than they are now.
Do you think they would be? Well, yeah. Well, because nowadays the pirates are better armed, but the ships aren't armed at all.
Yeah, but they're not even like really that well armed. It's just like you have a giant tanker and it has 7 human beings on it.
Yeah,
can't
with
defend-
like
they can't defend
AK-47s.
that. At best, I think merchant marines don't actually like carry a lot of that stuff. Or
So
they
what
have
boat would win? What boat would win? A boat with like 10 guys with AK-47s and grenades, or a boat with 10 guys that only have swords, cannons, and like a fucking like one shot reload pistols.
I think it depends a little bit on what era you're picking, but if we're talking like privateer days, I would have taken the privateers. Like I feel like they would have had so the current Somalian pirates are banking on you not fighting. They're banking on you just giving.
Pirates
them
are
things.
fighting.
But I think
Privateers
if
are
you
fighting.
talk like privateers,
Yeah.
I think we're talking about a bunch of guys that like yes, the other people's weapons are more advanced, but they'll probably fight back harder. They'll probably slit people's throats in the night. I don't know, just.
So
I would put
what
more
you're
money
saying? So what you're saying is that classic pirates would beat modern pirates?
I would think so if we're talking about just this particular situation.
Like
Where the
two
Somali-
boats, they roll up on each
so
other.
the Somali pirates basically have rafts practically, or multiple ships duct taped together practically. So they're not seamen. They're not expert they're not Navy guys. I would put my money on the people whose entire lives and careers were devoted to it.
Even if they
as
have the
opposed to-
inferior weapons.
I mean, up to a point. Like, if we're talking we have 10 guys and they all got bazookas, well, yeah, they'll sink the other ship.
Well, yeah.
That's a given. But if they come in there with the predicate assumption of what they're doing right now, which is, we're gonna show up, we've got 20 guys with AKs, and they're gonna surrender, and then we're gonna hostage them, and sell them and whatever.
We're gonna
because I don't know. I'm not an expert on fucking piracy.
I don't think pirates are gonna want to be hostages.
But I feel like the pirates that are currently existing are preying on the current circumstances, and the people that existed for let's say 400 years of trade that was happening, the kind of era of time. I feel like those people would be they understand that it's life and death all the time, and would probably fuck up some basic pirates that are just it's easy to steal shit. I don't know. You might win the first conflict. I think you might win the first fight, but whenever more privateers found out about it, I don't think they would take that shit. And at some point, numbers matter. At some point, multiple boats matter. At some point, other things would come up. I feel like they would lose. I feel like the current Somali pirates are not a structure that they would beat that.
It's so funny. I'm just picturing it all in my head. They got planks and shit. Oh, they're swinging on ropes. The pirates are swinging on ropes going across.
I honestly think one of the biggest things to do would be to after the first conflict. I think maybe the Somali pirates win the first open waters, fight during the day with their advanced weapons. But I feel like once it's known that that's what's happening, I don't think they win much past that, because I think that like people would get to the point where they're like, oh, we're trading and we're going through this lane. They would almost like bait them into situations, and then fucking like a bunch of people would like come up from underwater and fucking cut them or something. Like I just don't see.
Pirates
I don't see people
with a sword in their
I don't
mouth coming
see.
out
I
of
don't
the
see
water.
lazy thieves with good weapons that are modernly produced that they can't produce themselves, beating like dedicated veteran, I don't know, pirateers. Like however you want to phrase that. Like
They got
whose
scabies
lives
and
are-
shit.
Yeah, people that come back from 10 voyages.
They're
and-
missing
and
fingers.
they're-
They got fucked
Yeah,
up
like,
teeth.
I don't feel like those people are as dedicated. And like once again, we're talking about.
They don't got as much pillaging
a lot of
under
those
their belt.
weapons and shit that they've got. They didn't make that. They buy it. They buy it cheap. It's like they're dependent on the world economy being the way it is for that to work.
I doubt
Like,
they can swing their machetes as good as the pirates could swing their swords.
You would hope. Maybe we're wrong.
They were.
But I would fucking think same as like English longbowmen. Their arms must have been fucking built as fuck to do that shit.
Oh man.
And constantly modern people are proven wrong about assumptions like, oh, no one can do that. It's like no, somebody actually bothered to once again train to use a longbow. Or whatever.
Yeah, like a lot of the ancient alien stuff always made me laugh. It's like, this is impossible. It's like, yeah, but people had a lot of time on their hands.
That's all you do. You get pretty good
For
at it.
like 4 generations straight, you know.
Yeah,
You're gonna build
yeah.
some shit. You're gonna figure some shit out. You're gonna figure some shit out. Like one of my favorite things about like videos or essays to debunk all the ancient alien nonsense is when they teach you, or they have an expert talk about some ancient method of doing the thing they're saying we can't do with modern equipment. Like, and it's like always some like really funny, kind of simple, but very like laborious and tedious thing. But
Yeah.
like that takes a very long time and requires a lot of patience and tenacity to complete.
Yeah, I think a smaller way of saying what I was saying earlier is just like the Bruce Lee, I don't fear a man who has like tried 10,000 martial art moves. I fear the guy that has done one martial art move 10,000 times. But just that sense of like, yeah, you don't fuck with an expert on their own territory. You don't fight a man when you know it's their ground.
That's that one guy from the old dude from Hunter x Hunter, remember? He did the same prayer for like, he did that prayer over and over, like for for like fucking
Meroy,
how long was it?
Or, no,
Like,
Meroy, he killed Meroy.
Meroy is the other guy. That's how he fucking like he did that shit for fucking like years straight, non-stop, and stayed in that spot, and then through every season and weather, and then when he was done, like he just walks into the dojo and just fucking wrecks everyone with just the punch, just a punch, like that he just kept doing over and over with the prayer.
Yeah, and that's a fantastical example.
No,
I feel
yeah,
like
but it's
there's
fun.
a certain-
It's
there's
fun.
a certain truth to the idea that like
Yeah.
I wouldn't pick certain fights that are way outside of my domain. Like, I don't know. That's how I feel about this general discussion.
Well, no, for sure. I wouldn't want to fuck with somebody that's like a legitimately good hacker. I don't know anything about that stuff. Like, I just be
No, and I know a little bit, and it's like, no, the guy that actually knows shit, I probably wouldn't fuck with.
No.
I'll fuck with a lot of fucking script kiddies though, but that's different.
I won't fuck with them either because I have friends that can protect me. That's the good thing. I have like people in my life that are good at certain things that I'm not good at. But I'm good at other things, so it works out.
I do worry about where the world will be in a few years with the level of deepfakes and AI bullshit.
Oh,
but we'll see.
we were talking about that last time. I mean, that's what I do for a living right now, all fucking day, apparently. It's getting kind of wacky. Wacky tobacco.
It is. Yep.
Even like I can't say what it is, but even the project I'm working on, is kind of like, yeah, it's kind of out there. Like the level of machine learning, it's getting really meta. Let's just say that. It's getting very meta, the way that trainers can communicate on the back end with the chatbot, and the way it's set up.
Using the word trainers made me think of Pokemon trainers. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna have to battle against other AIs to climb the hierarchy.
well, like the bots are getting better at meta, like, conversation, and more overarching themes and ideas, and then able to make those connections with a lot less instruction.
On that subject, can I ask you just an opinion question, not related to your job, just broadly?
Yeah, because I can't.
But just broadly because this is where I could see it going a couple different ways. Let's say that one path is AI advancement continues, but we realize that it has like hard bottlenecks or hard curves that are stopping it. Or do you think that we're not going to see hard blockers on this phase, and we are actually going to see it continue to advance to?
Okay, reiterate. I lost the question. A little more concise.
Okay, yeah, let me get more precise.
Concise.
Do you think that AI, as it is currently being provisioned and advanced in your experience, so like somebody else could have something more advanced, do you think that is going to be able to continue to climb, or do you think it's going to hit a hard wall of efficacy at the moment?
The only wall it's going to hit is the limitations that corporations, companies doing this stuff are going to be actively enforcing, and not allowing that AI to explore potentials that could be harmful to their bottom lines, or to national security. But so I think the wall is going to be artificial, is what I think I'm saying. Yes.
Yep.
It's going to be an artificial
that seems one of the likely possible outcomes.
And if that artificial wall, if it gets too good and that artificial wall gets hijacked, oh man, things are gonna go bananas. And you know they are. Humans are fucking infinitely.
I'm all here for the story. I want to see how it breaks down.
Man.
It's really interesting.
We're gonna have fucking Reploids like Mega Man X running around having wars.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I could be all dreamy about where I think
the robot nation
good and useful, but where it most likely gets applied, I don't know. I feel like Metal Gear Solid captured a lot of where I think this is going.
Well, I mean, that's like the meme right now, is that a lot of this Metal Gear 2, right? Metal Gear 2 like called it fucking so many years ago. And
I do feel yeah, it feels a lot. It feels a lot like, oh yeah, we're gonna have military contractors fight every war, so it's no longer like a public policy problem. And
God, I wish we didn't send normal people that don't like killing other people, that don't like going to war, to fight wars that they're not even like related to, because it's all politics anyway.
You know what I would like?
Just a few isolated extremist people make it so that millions of people go to war. Millions of normal people that don't like war, don't like killing people, are now trained to kill people. They're not even completely part of the
Some of the people that get indoctrinated into this, they totally want to do this.
Oh yeah.
No!
That also
Fuck you! Fuck you, that's bullshit! They don't want to do this!
Some of them do.
Fuck you, that's brainwashing! I don't believe you.
Their agency?
I don't believe you.
There's people that like killing?
There are.
There's
The amount of
literally-
people that like killing compared to the amount of people that don't like killing
No, but
is
they-
way
No,
too
no,
skewed.
But
I
no,
don't
no.
know. That's
Way
debatable.
too
I actually
skewed.
No, it's
think-
not just-
I bet a lot of humans would like killing.
I don't
I
know.
simply disagree.
No, I don't
think
take it that far. I would.
more-
I
I think it takes
think normal
more
people do
effort.
not like killing.
No.
I think it takes more effort to understand why killing is reprehensible than it takes to understand why killing benefits me.
No,
You know,
what I was gonna say is I don't think people like killing per se, but I think people like killing their enemies. I think people like killing their enemies.
I think humans are pretty feral at a base level, and I think killing one another is built into a lot of the things, and you actually have to do more thinking to understand
Yeah,
why
you have
that's
to work
bad
toward not doing that stuff.
than you have to do to just be like, oh, killing bad. Like, I think the default assumption
Killing bad
is
does not stop
predatory
people from killing.
and whatnot. So what I'm gonna say is that I think the default human state is more feral. Oh, I think that's not the right word to use here, but more like predatory and animalistic, and like more willing to just do anything for its own benefit. And you have to learn why that doesn't make a lot of sense. I feel like.
Well, you know who doesn't have to learn that? A lot of neurodivergent people. I don't know why. But a lot of us just seem to know that shit real early on. Oh man. It's really funny. Because like, I don't know how many times I sat there and I'm watching like, since I was a kid, just watching big civilization changing events and big political battles and on the news and all these like silly things, and I just go, this is dumb. Can we stop, please? Someone switch off the ride, please. Can we get off this carousel? This is kind of bananas. Why is everyone so motivated by all this stuff? Like, it's just so crazy to me. Like, it blows my mind knowing that there's people out there suffering, like, incalculable amounts of suffering because, like, a handful of people were like, I want the thing. And then it just compartmentalized all that just away, all that horribleness. Like, that's crazy. My schizo-ass brain I can't compartmentalize something like that. There's just no way. I don't want anything in my life enough to want to cause any significant amount of harm to people. Like, that's
I will say for me, and we're a very similar age, I feel like for me, it is still cut in half. I could still just at the moment, if I felt like necessity demands, I feel like I could still just like flip over to that mode of uncaring. And actually the stance that takes effort for me is the one that requires me to cognate other human beings existing and having feelings in the universe, having like and having other goals and other like.
It sounds like that work you were talking about. It sounds like that work you were talking about, buddy.
It's the entire universe has to be constructed for me to be able to have that. It's really easy for me to access just like execute the person that's in the way.
Yeah, I'll just sit there and go. Why is this thing? Why is the way so important that we need to execute?
Well, I personally wouldn't demand it of you unless it actually came down to like life or death. I wouldn't
but
ever
even then,
demand
if I was like their situation, like that's what I think about. I gotta end the stream, but that's what I think about when it comes to like all the Warhammer stuff. I just go, man, like this isn't worth it, guys. like saving humanity is not worth that. It's just not.
If you pick Warhammer, I agree. I think you're correct.
Well, I'm saying like
However,
No, opt out. Species opt out. This is not worth
right?
it.
Yeah. In Warhammer, the best possible existence is to have never existed at all.
Or no, incorrect. You know a better answer.
Be an orc.
Yeah, be born an
Oh,
orc.
you're right. I guess that's fair. Be an orc.
Be an orc.
Just enjoy it. Just be down for the ride. Honestly, that is actually probably human apple cool.
Yeah, be an orc.
Like,
that would be the best. They're happy.
Well, I bet those people, they seem disappointed at this point in life. I bet, like, so what I'm saying is, I bet people that said they were hedonists in their 20s, and now we're in our close to 40s or 40s, and they seem to be not doing well. But maybe they just didn't understand it. Maybe they weren't true orcs.
True orcs. True orcs. No one's a true orc because orcs aren't human. No human can be an orc.
Well, you can try to build your mental state into an orc as much as possible. And I don't think they've done that. I think that what they've done is they've decided...
Well, it'd be
they
close
decided
to be like a Viking perspective.
what makes my dick hard is what's important in life. And then, oh, hey, I'm 40 now and it doesn't do anything good.
I mean, the closest human equivalent would be like Vikings. Like
no.
No?
I would say that's like, so Vikings, they might have done some pillaging, some raping, some things along those lines. Some? Well, okay, you want to pick like a specific Viking expedition and talk about it? Like...
No, I don't. Actually.
I don't either. I'm not overly familiar where I can go like, oh, this guy, he did this. I don't know that. But I would say
probably more than some. Probably more than some.
Like based on so for example, one of the cultural Scandinavian things that they had is the marriages in those tribes lasted about 7 years, and I think that makes a perfect sense for a certain like familial development. Like it made a tactical sense to say that, oh, marriages are for 7 years, and so like in a culture that has those aspects and also sends murder boat parties across the ocean to kill other people, I think that they weren't orcs. I don't think they were truly fully orcs.
No, they weren't truly orcs, but I would just... The reason I was thinking about it is just because an orc and a Viking heaven in some ways is, like, similar.
Another thing that I don't know the factual things about is, like, there were ideas of Viking berserkers that were just, like, mentally ill people that
yeah.
sort of, like,
we're like, they're so cool. It's like, nah, they were probably just fucked up. they're like, you know what, what's that game? With the girl that's like a parent, like she's like a paranoid schizophrenic. But she's like,
Hellblade.
Yeah,
something?
Hellblade. Yeah, the Hellblade game. The Hellblade. Yeah. Like the reason she's able to like the reason she's able to like kill as ferociously as she does is because like she thinks she's like in this she's like in this despair and being attacked by demons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would she be able to do that if it were humans? I mean, we don't know.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the idea that you're fighting for your soul would like give you even more ferocity. I have no idea.
No, you'd probably give in.
Not me. Fuck that.
Yeah, you would.
Stop trying to tell me what I would do.
You'd see some hot succubus, incubus, whatever. Just be like, "Give me your soul." You'd be like, "All right, fine."
No.
So,
I'd be
Shadow,
like, "Fight
do
me
you
for
like?
it, bitch."
Do you think Angst is just like a pure coomer?
No.
I did not say that. I did not say that.
No, but Shadowfall thinks anyone with a functioning libido is a coomer.
No, I did not say I believe Angst is a full coomer. I would say that
you said I'd sold my soul to
were Angst given a way out that was not filled with agony, but also even pleasurable.
No, I wouldn't take it.
I believe, yeah, he would take it.
No, I wouldn't take it. Why would I take it?
I believe you would.
That's not what I go after. The problems aren't solved. Why would I fucking just leave? That's stupid. I don't care about that.
Have you ever been really tired before, Angst?
Yes. Yes.
Really tired.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been.
Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Like, exhausted, depressed, destroyed, disheveled?
I'm listening.
Okay.
What do you mean? Like, I don't want to get out of bed. I just want to drool on the floor.
I had a dream one time where I basically was like, imagine if you were to fall like through the world as if it were like a shattered glass, and then like you fell into the void, right? Like you're just drifting. You're not falling into the void. You're drifting into the void as if it was water.
10,000 years dropping. Yeah, didn't I?
Yeah, but it's like the exhaustion you feel in that void that like tempts you to go to sleep isn't so much exhaustion as it is like how do I put this?
I would go to sleep if I didn't have so many people to stay awake for.
Oh no, you'll have like a whole world of light just like calling out your name and be like, wake up, but like you're tired.
I'll wake up.
Man.
I don't care. I'll wake up.
You're tired. I
up.
thought the same thing, man, but then I went to sleep.
I have to wake up. I have to wake up. You go beat Griffith, I'll beat Guts.
No, Angst. Like, you understand Icon of Defiance, right? Like, I'm with you on this, but even I want to sleep.
Full Guts, baby. I'm going full Guts.
So I don't know.
Full Guts.
Like, I want to say that's me, because, like, I've had other dreams that are... You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure I'm either Griffith or Puck in this analogy.
Huh?
I said I'm either Griffith or Puck in this analogy.
I'm gonna make you Puck, because then you can just fly around and annoy me.
Actually, what is the name of the bull guy?
Oh, you're talking about oh yeah, you're talking about fuck, oh my god, I'm so bad with names. I told you. Yeah, like the demon, the fucking Zod.
Okay,
The immortal Zod.
I think that's a given. I think it's a given.
You're gonna give me a Zod? Going full Zod? You know, I don't know. I might be maybe I'll go Skeleton King.
Dude, Skeleton King is a good one to go. Given the opportunity.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah. I think Horthus maybe is Zod. But it would have to be Zod. It would have to be Zod that Guts kills. It'd have to be like Zod that Guts beat, and then like got resurrected as undead. That is more.
I liked Zod the moment he was like, the moment he didn't give a shit about the eclipse.
Yeah.
That was cool. Zod was like, fuck this eclipse. I don't give a fuck. Let's fight.
We'll never get to see Berserk properly ended. I do wonder if that character arc wasn't finished.
Fucking Zod, man. I like fell in love with the character as soon as he just like told the Skeleton King like, I don't give a fuck about what's going on there. That shit's stupid. Like that shit's funny, man. Who gives a shit about that? Like the idea that Zod was just like wandering around the earth, just going like, I just want a good fight. I just want a good fight. Come on, just give me a good fight.
And
make me suffer.
God, as a completely mortal person, gave him a good fight. So
yeah, but it's just that idea. Like he's just like so powerful, right? And he's just like, I don't want any of these fucking feasts. I want make me suffer. Make me suffer. I want to lose. It's that Baki thing. You know the Baki thing? It's like I want to taste defeat.
Who's the best at eating invisible food?
Huh?
Oh, it's abstract Baki joke that I've absorbed from the community where
it's invisible food.
Oh,
it's invisible
what do you mean?
Food.
It's invisible food. Like what's so hard to understand here?
Right, the father teaches the son.
Yeah.
And redemption happens because the son also eats the invisible food.
The invisible food. that
That's how he
everyone can
proves
see
he's the
now.
strongest
They're
man,
so
yeah.
powerful. Their auras are just so potent that everyone could swear they're seeing invisible. It's so funny in that scene. There was like a mass psychosis. like a mass psychosis of people just so in awe and in stupor of what they witnessed. This incomprehensible battle that they're like literally like hallucinating food in front of them along with them.
I mean, if you lived in a world where a dude can like one hit like take a nuke, then yeah, sure, I guess.
Well, he can't take a nuke. No one can take a nuke in Baki. But
I thought that was sort of the description of like the U.S. can't stop him.
no, but they can't stop him because like he would break into their facilities, kill everyone attempting to kill him, or even like he'd probably find out what they're planning and just start murdering everyone.
And the
like,
guy parry a fucking rocket to the face? Like, are we
basically,
joking here, or?
No,
really
he can't
absurd.
parry. He can't parry a rocket, but
Okay, so
he can
so,
probably
wait,
dodge
How would
it.
he be able to
Wait,
infiltrate the
don't
facility?
just
Just
say-
send in
don't
a
say
couple choppers after him.
He'll
You
dodge
you'd
the
have
bullets.
to read a little bit of Baki.
He'll
to
dodge
understand
the
that
bullets,
It
my
is
ass.
superhuman. He's superhuman
rocket.
in like a weird, retarded way. Where,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We're like, so one of the very first characters you're introduced to is a villain or whatever. Like, he through airwaves can like cause someone to explode by like punching fast enough at them or whatever. Like completely unrealistic things are part of Baki. So surviving a nuke is definitely within the realm of Baki power.
But they would do it. It wouldn't be like he just takes the nuke. There would be some kind of bullshit, like pseudo-scientific reason
Yes,
for
there would be a couple lines of dialogue explaining.
Yeah, explaining how like they buried their body under something, and then like the heat from the explosion turned it into glass, and then they survived like under the glass and then broke out of the glass.
A sheet of lead he had on hand, and
Oh yeah, and all the oxygen
ground.
was taken out
And
of
and
around
the
him.
nuke actually just propelled him into
Yeah,
a
yeah.
position where he could then kick the shit out of the like.
Or like his lungs were so powerful that he was able to hold his breath for like an hour underground, and then like or was under the glass protected somehow by the radiation, and then burrowed deeper into the earth, out away from the ground zero. Like
that's all right.
yeah, they'll just he'll dig his way through the dirt, like punching his way through underground.
Did you know that the furry anime series that's like really popular is also written by the guy who wrote Baki's daughter?
Oh. No. That's wild.
Beastars. Beastars is the name of that one. It's written by the guy who made
I hear
Baki.
it's really good though. I hear it's really good.
I've also
Beastars
heard that. I
is
haven't
like
watched it.
phenomenal. I fucking like. I read the manga. At first, I thought it was fur bait, but then I like read because I saw a couple books floating around my work.
By the
So I was
way,
just like,
here
well,
on
I
the
guess
Angst
it's not
show,
fur bait.
here on the Angst show, we don't shit on furries, okay? Fur bait.
This is literally
is
nothing to
okay.
do with.
No, I
shitting
know.
on
I'm
furries.
just. No, it's a disclaimer. I'm just
Fur
saying.
bait is not okay. Just as
Fur
much as
bait is
porn bait
okay.
isn't okay.
Fur bait is
No,
okay. I don't like fur bait.
bait in
But
and of
it's
itself
okay
is garbage.
to like fur bait.
No.
Is my Minotaur avatar fur bait?
Do you masturbate to it every
No,
single
not-
day,
not
3 times a
personally,
day
that's-
with your jackhammer arm?
No, that's.
I don't think they have to do
I
it
have.
that
No,
way.
it's not fur
I
bait.
have other responsibilities to masturbate.
It's it's not fur bait.
Oh, by the way,
feel like
Faction,
my
that was a different album by the same guy. He did the Elevator one, but then he has like a World War I album. That's kind of cool. I was playing that.
Yeah. I read the Beastars comic, or not comics, manga, and those were actually like phenomenally well written. I loved the story and the nuances the creator had.
And all the what do you call it? You like all the what is it
The
called?
philosophy in it.
No.
Just the way they can recontextualize society.
The
Oh, it's great.
the
I
dick,
highly
you liked all the
recommend it.
dick knots.
Yeah,
Now,
this is the part where I
you have
just shut
said
you
that you
down.
enjoyed that, I think you would
Oh.
find it slightly
Oh.
interesting to look at Baki and go, "Oh, the person who wrote Beastars was
All
the
the-
daughter of the person writing this Baki shit."
Okay, but you've already lost me with they're not
throbbing
the
dick
same
nuts.
person. So just the fact that she's the daughter of someone else has no relation to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I
There's
kind of
no-
agree with Shadow. Like, who
It's
gives
just
a
like they're
shit?
completely different people. I don't care.
I think that it could not matter, but it could be interesting to think about how one thing informs the other.
I've seen clips of Baki. It's not interesting in the slightest.
You have terrible taste.
It's just shonen bait.
No, it's
just
Oh,
not.
all right,
really-
all right. I'm
It's
gonna make
people who
an
really like
argument.
power
I think it's
fantasy.
really
That's
cool.
crazy.
No, that is a part of how Baki is constructed.
It's not
Actually, one of
shonen.
the really
Baki's not a
interesting
shonen.
Well,
I don't know
I don't
what
even
it
know
is.
the word for it, but it's
But
dumb and gratuitous
uh,
violence, and it's just
It is
over the top.
gratuitous.
It's a
Now,
comedy.
But, like,
that said,
I consider
but,
Baki
like,
a comedy.
Yeah,
well,
it's not saying anything. It's just to
It's saying-
enjoy.
Ooh, saying it's not saying anything is interesting.
It's
because
just
I think it
absurdism
does
to
say
enjoy.
some other things in it. Now, I could see where people would skip over them potentially.
Yeah.
Now, so for example, with Baki's bullshit that makes no physical sense, the author was hyper focused on like physicality and the human body in terms of how he would draw things
Yeah.
and illustrate things and where the sort of like power system comes from, because nobody in Baki is like actually magic, like actual magic.
Well,
But
it
it's
is.
all,
It
like-
is. No, it is magic by our standards.
Yeah, it's not real. It's
No.
not what would really.
No, because like this is what I always say about Baki. Like, I go, okay, imagine a world where all the like pseudoscience, body, martial arts, guru bullshit, but it's all real and it's all
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Like you know the guy that like uses like his chi to like somehow
yeah,
like
chi,
psychologically
energy wields people.
control
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people, like
It's
with his
real in that world.
willpower. Yeah, like in
Yeah.
Baki that could happen. Cause like all that martial arts bullshit, like fucking pressure points, fucking using like needles to like acupuncture needles in order to access like new parts of your brain and shit, like all that shit's true. All that wacky shit, it's all true, it's all real. And then what I like too is the writer, the mangaka, whatever, he's really into just like martial arts figures in general and just martial arts things in general, and he'll just get like something really kind of small or interesting about a martial art and then just fucking ramp it up to 100. Like, fuck it, let's just like let's get the thing that's possible and then like now let's make the impossible possible. Like, like there is such a thing as like a, what do you call it, the Bruce Lee 1-inch punch, right? That's a thing that someone can learn and do, but let's just make it like ridiculous and add some pseudoscience and other like weird Eastern philosophical notions, and then like, let's make that 1-inch punch like a fucking 1-inch haymaker, like
1-inch like explodes you like a
yeah,
or
it's actually
implodes you.
stronger.
You could only
Entire
take
body.
1 inch, Porthos?
Yeah, no.
Whoa.
In Baki, the most powerful 1-inch punch is more powerful than the most powerful haymaker. For sure, like for sure, it'll always win. Like
I think that from just broadly speaking, like Shadow, whenever you say you have no interest in how the Beastars author is related to the guy who wrote this other series, I
Correct.
think that there's something there that is interesting about like how what's similar between those two things. And the second you find similarities, like then pointing out the differences, I think there's something interesting there. It's fine that you find nothing interesting there, but to me it seems like obvious to like, oh, how did these two authors results affect each other, especially whenever it's like such a
family
significant
members.
relationship as it's literally the dad of the person.
I mean,
that did
it can be
I'm
kind of
coming at it-
interesting. Like,
I'm coming at it from the perspective of if my father wrote a book and I wrote a book, they would be so like literally not even in the same
yeah, but you and your dad
world
have an
of
awful
Yeah,
relatability.
but that would be
relationship.
really interesting. It would still be
No, wouldn't it? What the fuck?
It would to see what would creep in.
See, now this is just subjective.
Ooh, it'd be
opinion
interesting
here
to read
differing.
both books and then go, what about the writing style? Is there some kind of like genetic component?
No, because then I can read
That's
some other
interesting.
phenomenal comic series, manga series,
Well,
or read or watch some phenomenal movie that is way more interesting.
I mean,
that I don't have
I
to
don't know that I would like
dig
do the
through.
research, but it's an interesting question. Like
No, it's not.
I like it'd be interesting to think that like
You're
like
wrong.
how did the
So Shadow, you're taking the perspective not only is the author dead, but literally no interactions they've had ever in their life are relevant. There's
they're
nothing.
not relevant to Shadow. They're relevant.
Right. Well, so it's just a stronger position of the.
Can you
death of the
restart that and figure out where I said any of those words?
You didn't use those words, but whenever you let me begin first of all by describing the concept that I'm talking about.
Okay,
So
Hell, bitch, you don't like waffles and they think you love pancakes.
yeah, understood. Sorry, I don't want to disrespect your position. What I'm saying is there is this concept that exists, which is whether or not the author is dead when reviewing content, which is whether or not like anything at all about the person who wrote it matters to what was written. Is where I'm starting
I
from.
mean,
right?
Shadow has multiple said that they're all about the author being dead.
Oh yeah, I really like the concept of death of the author, but like
Right,
I'm not. But like that's only what you take away from it, right? Like
Right.
if
Yeah.
like if you want to understand the author's perspectives and experiences so that you can take away something from it, then be my guest, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So
There's nothing
we
wrong
are
with that.
broadly on the same page then. That, like there are lenses that exist, and some of those lenses might involve. Oh, let's say we're talking about H.P. Lovecraft. Let's say that we're talking about how, like he's perceived as racist, and it's he
I did a
probably
whole
was
podcast
racist.
on that. He wasn't. Wow, that's he's xenophobic and scared and confused, and I think he was also.
I
think he was
we landed on the
schizo-spectrum
same-
too. I think he was schizo-spectrum.
All right,
We
get to
landed
the
on,
part
I
where you
think, the same-
concretely tell me the concepts you're trying to present here, because I'm still lost.
So all within this direct example, all I'm saying is that if your father had written a book and you had written a book, I might take and read both books and come up with a perspective about how ideas or concepts from one or the other are similar or not.
Comparing, contrasting
Okay.
things can be fun.
Like, okay, and
Well, no, that's the point. That's the whole point. That is literally all I'm trying
No,
to get
he's just
wrong.
saying his position, and
yeah, I knew that
I-
though. Like,
yeah,
I
I
get
don't,
it.
I don't get it where this. Like, I get your position, but like, you're not. That doesn't disprove his.
Like what? Like what?
opinion
Like
or anything.
what about that?
Well-
Like what about that convinces me that I should watch Baki?
Oh, I didn't know I was trying to convince you to watch Fox.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I thought he
I
was
was
trying to
trying to point
convince
out-
you to watch Baki.
I
I
thought.
wasn't trying to convince you to watch Baki. What I was trying to say was, can you understand that it could be interesting to observe
Yeah,
Baki
like-
and Beastars and know that these two people were directly related and think about how those influences, how those different things interact.
Shadow can.
Yeah,
Shadow
but
can.
that-
It's because Shadow,
like,
your language
easily,
is
I
shit
can-
sometimes. Like, because like you were saying it in this kind of super declarative, matter of fact way, and so I think that completely made Horthus think that you couldn't.
I like my whole thing was I don't want to watch Baki.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
No, you said that.
That wasn't the argument I was perceiving. I was perceiving that you were saying that it was incorrect to ever look at the author of work A and work B and that they interacted and
Oh
like
my
say
God.
that that's irrelevant.
Is this my deadpan attitude coming in. Angst,
Yeah,
please tell me it's
you always
not.
do this.
Ah!
No, like
It
you
was
just
sarcasm. I'm
yeah, you're bad at
sorry.
sarcasm. He's really bad at sarcasm.
I
Shadowfall
thought it
is
would be
so
obvious that
bad at
such a
sarcasm.
garbage take would be considered sarcasm.
No, this happens to Shadowfall
Ah!
all the time. He thinks he's doing sarcasm. He doesn't know how to do sarcasm.
I think I'm doing sarcasm because I thought it was just like objectively
No,
like just a
just
steaming
Shadowfall.
pile
You
of
need to stop.
bullshit that it wouldn't be
You
interesting to
need to stop
someone.
doing the sarcasm. You're not good at it. Just give it up. Go home. Go home. You're drunk.
But yes, Horthus, you're arguing about a subjective experience. So even then, it doesn't matter whether or not I agree with you. If you find it interesting, then you find it interesting.
Ooh,
That
I
is
would, I
good.
would, I would cut off like 3/4 of what you just said is about like the technical rule of that, and was correct. And it's like, but that's not what we were talking about as far as I was concerned. It was just the idea that could it be an interesting subject to examine how those two things are related?
It could be interesting to me if both of the subjects I would be looking at were interesting. But if one of them is not interesting, then no, it is not interesting to me to learn how it came about.
Well, from what I can discern here, Shadow is also saying that two people being related to each other is not something that interesting to them.
Yeah, I guess. What if there's other overlaps? That's like the first thing that occurs to me. Is just
like the thing here, Horthus, is that you're getting too abstracted into a different concept when, like, for example, I liked B stars. I really like concepts of B stars. I would want to watch Baki, air quotes, to understand B stars better. But that is the purpose. That is the goal. Like, I would understand the relationship between the artists to understand their art better.
Removed, I think it's like I think it's 3 jumps away to where you're at.
Like, I don't care about the relationship. I don't care about the other thing. I care about the one thing and understanding it better.
But how does someone even get into the manga industry? Like those are other things that are part of that equation.
I don't care. I don't care how they got there. I care about the work they made. I care about the art they produced.
I kind of vibe with that to some degree. I kind of get what you're saying too, but my shit fluctuates depending on the conditions.
Well, no, I think I understand. I'm trying to just like I'm trying to put myself in your shoes and like remember what it's like to be there. Where like you just observe a work and it's like, oh, that's it.
Because then I take like the work is the starting point, and then I keep going forward.
I think it's a good place. I think
the work is not a middle point nor an end point; it is a starting point.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Like for example,
I think I used to have more access to that, and I think because of just life, it's actually harder for me to access that just observing a work without all that other bullshit getting dragged in.
But that's my argument would be that the mistake you're making is seeing it as bullshit and not just seeing it as something that's enjoyable and valuable.
What is the word bullshit? Does bullshit ever mean that it's not physically there?
No, I'm saying like it's still just as valid. That the way that Shadow is enjoying things and the way that you're enjoying things.
Well, okay, what does valid mean?
Fine.
Valid means literally like the way I think what Angst is trying to say is that if you're somehow jealous or any other word
or saddened by the fact that you can't,
or regretful that you can't do one thing over another, then it might be beneficial to realize that how you're enjoying it now is just as valid because it's one door closed but another door open and both are still doors.
Yeah.
Like if you go through one door, every other door closes, so it doesn't really matter which one you go through.
In terms of, is just strictly in terms of logic. And then after that, you've also got soundness, which is whether or not something's true, like whether or not the statements
Maybe
are
your
true.
maybe your emotions are connected to those things. Do you ever think about that at all? That's where your feelings lie.
I'm
Your hopes, your dreams, all that kind of shit.
I'm pulling out my Tism
I-
card, and you guys are talking about things that do not make sense to me right now. I don't even know what you're trying to argue here. Not argue,
I feel
conversate
like
about.
most of my feelings are things that I have been fighting against, and
Yeah.
largely I don't encounter them as much now as I used to.
Yeah, maybe that's a problem.
What's the
Could
question
be, could
here?
be.
No one's asking a question, Shadow. Be quiet.
Give me a question.
All right, I'm ending the stream. I'm bored. Okay.
Orthus, give me a
so,
question. What's going on here?
bye
no.
bye
You're
stream,
doing
everyone. Hold on. Oh yeah. Somebody wanted me to be sad. Okay, I'll be sad. I'm always sad. Okay, so thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I kind of want Thursdays to be like this, where it's just kind of a clusterfuck of whatever. And
Yeah, so much for Torpid Thursday. You were more energetic today than you were fucking every other week beforehand.
well, I've been sick all week. Not every other week. The fuck?
Every other Torpid Thursday, you're fucking
yeah. That's
out
probably
of it,
because I've been
man.
having fucking my CPAP's working. I'm getting oxygen. It's working.
So it's not Torpid Thursday, and you just lied to me.
I don't know. It
To my
could have been
face.
if you guys didn't talk
You just
about
straight up
anything.
lied to my face.
I don't mind lying to you. But okay, anyway, if you guys
Fucking right.
like the streams, please support me on Patreon. Support me on Twitch. It's easier, but Patreon's the best. Or subscribe to the server if you're on the server and you enjoy it. I think that gives me some money or something. And it helps out, guys. It helps me convince my wife that there's something beneficial to, our income to do this, dedicate this much time to this sort of stuff. And, because it realistically, I got bills to pay and I got a family and shit. I can't. But anyway, but I appreciate the help and the support. Please like, subscribe, whatever bullshit works for whatever platform you're watching this on. And I am going to hang out probably on the server, maybe pop something on. I don't know yet, but I'll be there. I usually am at night. Thanks a lot, guys. And as usual, when day is dark, always remember